The movie you are going to watch is a very interesting movie that will get you up on your seat about killing a rich man to get his insurance claim with a master plan. I am not going to tell more. Watch the video. Before we begin, please subscribe the channel. The movie begins with a girl named Brittany riding a boat through a lake. She stops the boat and throws a flower bouquet into the water to commemorate her mother's death, as huge crocodiles appear and eat the flowers. She gasps in shock and rides her boat back to land. In the next scene, she drives her car to college and enters the lecture room where her friend comforts her, saying her mom will always be with her. When she seems sad, suddenly, a girl named Maya King enters the lecture room and acts like a mafia boss. The principal then introduces to detectives named Morrison and Connor Hayes, who give speeches about drugs and the school's rules to the students. However, they are not paying attention because it's the final of the district volleyball championship. In the next scene, all the students gather to watch the final match, and Brittany plays for the Blue Bay team and performs excellently. Maya enters the crowd and mocks Brittany when she makes mistakes on the court. However, Brittany gains her superpowers and defeats the other team with an awesome final shot. The following scene shows a party at Brittany's house celebrating their victory. However, Brittany becomes upset as things get crazy, with girls playing naked and drunk in the pool with boys around. She's afraid her stepfather will find out and punish her. Then, Maya arrives at the party riding a dirt bike. Brittany gets angry because the students are acting crazy in her house, and one boy has painted on her dead mother's photo on the wall. Suddenly, her stepfather arrives and shouts at everyone to get out of his house. At night, Brittany wakes up from a dream and hears a man blaming her stepfather and threatening him with a gun. When she goes down to check, the man is gone. And when she asks her stepfather, Niles, about it, he ignores her and recalls the events of the party. The next morning, Niles leaves for a vacation on his plane. At that time, Brittany and her friends are practicing volleyball at the beach. When she takes a shower, she sees the man who was threatening Niles the previous night watching her from a bridge, but he disappears in a second. Suddenly, Britt was asked to go to the principal's office, and there, Detective Morrison told her that her father died by accident. In the next scene, we see an insurance investigator named Terrence checking the damaged plane parts, and there he discovers some burned rats. Because of that, he suspects that someone did this on purpose. Then Detective Morrison comes to visit Brittany at her house and tells her what has happened in the plane with the rats, and asked if somebody had problems with her stepdad. And she shows him the CCTV footage of that man beating Niles. In the next scene, lawyers, and Brittany asks about the shares of her stepdad and how much will she get. And she was devastated to hear that will only get $25,000 a year, and all other funds will go to his blood heir if he has one, or his favorite country club. In the next scene, investigator Terrence goes to an animal hospital with the dead rats to get some information about it from the doctor. In the next scene at the court, Maya stands and tells the judge that she is the biological daughter of Niles, and Brittany gets angry hearing this. Then on the next court day, Maya gives the judge some letters which Niles sent her mother, threatening not to reveal that Maya is his daughter. Then judge asks for a DNA test for the final judgment. Dr. Haynes is doing the DNA test, and Terrence also comes to check there. Then when Brittany came home at night, that bald man threatened her with a knife to give him what Niles owed him. On the final court day, Dr. Haynes handed over the final result of the DNA test to the judge, and it confirmed that it was a genetic match. Maya was so happy about it. In the next scene, Terrence goes to check about the information about dead rats, and the doctor tells him that they were not ordinary rats, and they were fed with very expensive wine. Then at night, Brittany watches the news and sees the bald man got caught as the murderer of Niles. Then she goes to celebrate it by drinking wine, and Maya comes there and tells her their plan worked, and smiles and kissed Brittany. And suddenly Dr. Haynes also appears there, and they had a threesome. It showed that all of this was a plan by these three people. In the next scene, Brittany was watching the lake where her mother died, and Terrence comes there and asks her some questions about the rats and expensive wine bottles of her father. And Brittany got confused and afraid that Terrence knows everything and drives away to her college. And she meets Maya at the library and tells her that Terrence knows everything and shouts confused. But Maya comforts her and kissed her. Then Terrence also visits Dr. Haynes at his workplace and asks some weird questions about Niles' death and his sterility cause he had the medical reports of Niles. Dr. Haynes also gets confused and scared that Terrence knows something. Then Haynes comes to visit Maya, telling her he is afraid, and Maya comforts him by getting naked. But Terrence followed him and watched Maya's house from outside. Then suddenly a man put a gun to Terrence's head and asks who is he. And Terrence gives him his business card and tells him why he came there. When Terrence asked that man about Maya's father, he tells Terrence that her father is dead and buried. Then Terrence goes to check the graveyard and finds the grave of Maya's real father. Maya calls Brittany and tells her that they need to kill Terrence before he does something. In the next scene, Maya signed all contracts and shouted, saying loud that she got the fucking $70 million. And when she drives back, she tells Brittany the work is done and got the check, and tells her to meet her and Haynes at the motel. And when Brittany gets to the motel downstairs, Maya scared her with a joke. Then she puts a gun to Brittany's head, joking again, and then shows Brittany how to load and shoot with a pistol. Then Haynes comes there suddenly and Maya shoots at him. Then he runs and Maya and Brittany chase him to kill him. Then Brittany shouts that she does not need to hurt him. And suddenly Haynes comes from back and catches Brittany from behind, squeezing her neck. But Maya shoots him. Then they take his body to the same lake where Brittany's mother suicide, and when they try to do that, a cop arrives from a car. Brittany gets scared and shouts. Maya went to handle the cop while Britt finished with Haynes's body. But Haynes is still not dead and grabs Brittany by the neck again. But Brittany kills him by stabbing him with a knife. Then the cop comes there with Maya to check the noise, but nothing was found there. Then Maya goes with the cop, and Brittany drives back in her car. And Maya calls Brittany and tells her to meet her at Haynes's house. In the next scene, Terrence comes to Haynes's office and found that he is not there and gets his address. Then he goes to Haynes's house to check, and Brittany arrives there. Terrence hides in the back. When Brittany was called by Maya Terrence to check on the mud of the vehicle, Brittany came. Then he realized what they have done. And then he called Detective Morrison to search the lake for Haynes's body, and Detective Morrison shouted at Terrence that nothing was found there. But Terrence is confused until realized that the plants in the lake suck everything around there, and jumps to the lake and cut a root of the plant as proof. At night, Maya came to pick up Brittany to move out, but Brittany did not come out. So when Maya went inside and saw Detective Terrence is there, and both Maya and Brittany are confused. Then Terrence told them that they want half of the $70 million, or he will tell Detective Morrison about this. Then Maya agreed to the offer, but Brittany did not like the idea. So she goes upstairs and watched their conversation from the CCTV cameras and took a gun. When Maya and Terrence are talking near the pool, Brittany came with a gun and killed Maya, shooting at her head. Then she told Terrence that he will get his half, and he should earn it. In the next scene, Brittany and Terrence are taking the body of Maya to put into the same lake, Haynes, and Brittany's mother died. While they driving, they stopped at a color light, and there was a cop behind their car. Then Terrence told Brittany to calm down. But Brittany got out of the car, and Terrence had to drive away because of the cop behind. Then Brittany called the police that Terrence is driving a car with a dead girl in the trunk. In the next scene, we can see Terrence has been caught by the police, and he is shouting it was all done by Brittany. Then Morrison shows him the tape that he claims that he wants half of the money that Maya King's inherited by Niles. Then he saw the news on TV and realized that Niles is not dead, and it was a plan to get away from the problems he had. Then Brittany fly away with a plane smiling, and suddenly Niles appears and they have a chat, while smiling that their plan worked. Then when they try to fly away from the plane with parachutes, Brittany told him that she filled his parachute with newspaper because of the things he did to her mother and kick him out of the plane. Then as planned before, all we did not know, she meets her mother at a lake and takes her to the boat. They both ride away to take their money and comes to a resort where they live a luxurious life. With that, movie ends here. So we can see this was all along a master plan by Brittany and her mother.